Morenes.
And I am Donalien Simpasim.
And in this video, we will share our analysis in the stories The Three Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, and The Sword and the Stone.
So the first story is The Three Little Pigs. The Three Little Pigs belongs to the formalist jury because in the classic fairy tale of The Three Little Pigs, we see several main themes that are conveyed through the story. So the first theme is being hard work pays off, which we can see by analyzing the Three Little Pigs methods of creating their house. This is especially seen in variations of the story in which the pigs who made their houses of straw and sticks did so because they didn't want to spend so much time on their houses and would rather go out and have fun. However, we see the end of the story that the eldest pig's hard work paid off since it was the only house that wasn't blown down. The story of the Three Little Pigs also encompasses the theme of listen to your parents or elders. We often see this theme in children's fairy tale, and this story was no exemption. On the first paragraph of the story, we see the pig's mother tell them that whatever they do it the best they can. The two youngest pigs chose to ignore their mother's advice and were eaten, while Buck, the oldest pig, followed her advice and built a house strong enough to keep him safe.
Next story is the story of Hansel and Gretel. So the story can be viewed from a feminist point of view or feminist story because I will first analyze the mother and then Gretel. So first, the mother is definitely not the caring person many mothers describe. She is extremely selfish. Her solution is to kill part of her family, which is Hansel and Gretel, to survive. But since she is the stepmother, we're aware of how stepmothers rule in the family. She manipulates her husband into believing that her method of survival are right. And in the story, she is really obsessed of losing Hansel and Gretel in the forest just to make her plan successful. This shows that the women are absolutely determined to take action, no matter how bad or scary it may be. And lastly, Gretel as an independent girl who always needs her brother's help to solve problems. In the story, for example, Gretel relies on Hansel to take on a more masculine leadership role, guiding the two through the forest using rocks and breadcrumbs. Gretel's dependence on her brother demonstrates the masculinity and superiority of men and demonstrates also the inability of women to be independent.
Okay, so the third story is the Little Red Riding Hood. So Little Red Riding Hood belongs to the feminist theory because it shows free from the watchful eyes of the woodcutters. Red Riding Hood is able to make her own decisions. She is no longer a bud but has become a blooming flower. She is becoming a woman and running off the path designated by a patriarchal society that wishes her to be a good girl.
And for the last story, The Sword and the Stone can be classified as a historical story because it combines many elements of legend, history, and fantasy. First of all, with a character like King Arthur, I think he appears in some myths and legends. It could also be based on historical figure. Second, I noticed that to become a king in the Middle Ages, one had to show courage and fighting skills. In the story, whoever draws the sword from this stone will be the rightful king of all Britain. So King Arthur found the god sword, Excalibur, in the stone and did not know the prophecy, so he drew it. So he was declared the new king. And finally, in the story, there is a ritual using a stone, and somehow this stone is involved in revealing whether the claimant is the rightful king or not. And I consider it as a historical event that happened in the past.
So that's all. Thank you.